10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Wings Gaming's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Wings Gaming's turn.
Welcome back, everybody. Game number 2. FY and Wings Gaming. Wings. I'm going to take game number 1 in this GSL elimination match. Obviously, the loser, if LFY do lose this game, or whoever does lose this series, eliminated from the tournament, they will just be taking last in their group, which is something that's rather surprising. I don't think many people expected to see Wings here in the bottom half of the bracket so early, nor do I think they expected to see LGD Forever Young have to face up against Wings in either one of these scenarios. Either way, Chinese teams will have to match up against each other, and all about the draft right now. I think
all about the draft.
Did you like Wings' draft a bit more in that game 1, or you done with the animation space creation? I think you didn't like Leshrac, right?
Yeah, I really didn't like the Leshrac, but I think they wanted someone who could pair up with him. It's somewhat unconventional, but it's not that strange. The anti-mage was a little early for my liking because he didn't really like versus Storm or something like that. I think would have been a lot better. It's not the best for Timbersaw. They let the Knicks have a little bit too much, so I wasn't like the biggest fan of the draft, but they could have made it work. I've actually never thought that Xiaoyi's strongest suit has been his draft, regardless. So like even if their draft isn't as good, the play, the team play, the in-game calls, I think is where LGD Forever Young. So it's okay.
All right, well, LGD Forever Young go for the I don't think Yao can play anything but Sand King opening. Let's switch it up on us. They go for the Rubik first pick. Ogre Magi and Juggernaut was the response from Wings, and LFY throws a curveball. They go for Outworld Devourer instead.
Wings Gaming's turn to ban.
Some OD, right? OD was... Yeah, I think Super's OD was really good back when...
10 seconds
Again,
remaining.
most of our tape from Super has been on James's OD was like exceptionally strong, but it's not like a Sumail type OD. It's not like a solo play. I play a lot of pubs. It's more of a I team fight a lot. He used to fight a lot of that. And I think it's probably going to be a hybrid of the both because just because the playstyle OD has changed a little bit.
I mean, in some ways, right, this imprisonment is more valuable, right, than the old OD as a team fighter.
Yeah,
So
I would say so.
And it's going to make for a great saving mechanism, potentially against the Juggernaut Spanner Omni Slash. He's also a mid that can beat Juggernaut in lane, so we may be seeing Wings change that up. I think that was one of the big reasons that Wings did pretty well for themselves, right? Is that the way they changed their laning scenario. They went from having potentially Timbersaw off lane to having Timbersaw mid, Nyx Assassin off lane, and they had this Klink's last pick, right, which allowed them to be able to both pressure the Animage more directly than we probably expected. We kind of expected a Desolator build where you take down early towers and limit map control. Instead, he went for the Orchid, and even if it didn't pick off the Animage right away, he was still able to push in the towers even without that Desolator, and was able to, I think, still keep ZYF kind of looking behind his shoulder at all times. Second set of bans here, LGD Forever Young are going to ban away the Nyx Assassin that was played by Fate Beyond last game. To great success. Obviously would have been quite the hero to have versus OD.
I wonder if they're going to ban the Mirana. Mirana's... Like, the OD and Mirana's just so aggressive and difficult to deal with, even for a hero that's generally pretty good at escaping like Juggernaut. The THD is something that LGD Forever Young have been running a lot, and it's actually just very common in common in the Chinese scene a lot as a support. Just push down towers a lot and combos well with Ice Path too.
If they don't ban it, would you like to see Wings take it before LFY? Because they do have the first pick and the second pick. Because you would be pretty committed to. Am I wrong? I thought, yeah, because LFY had the first pick. So that'd be pretty heavy commitment to early mid game, right? To have a Juggernaut safe lane and a mid Morana.
That's not their style though.
Yeah.
From what I've seen from them, it's like they don't care too much about what you're gonna pick because they always have something different in mind. Like my view of it is like it's my view, right? It's not Wings' view, and I can only get a glimpse of insight into what Wings want to do. But I would just think that Potom's a good pick for that. Maybe they think so too. Maybe they just don't care. Maybe just go, well, it's gonna screw their lanes over, or it's gonna make their team fight extremely weak, which is actually probably true. It would make the team fight extremely weak at this point. And Wings always do something strange, like Keeper.
Well, that Slardar is still going to have a hard time against the Mana Leaf, but the value really comes in from this Keeper of the lane pusher, but that blind is super powerful against OD, right?
10 seconds remaining.
Any miss percentage chances are going to really hurt that hero. It's not a hero that wants to get beat MKB, nor does it necessarily want to get a very quick BKB.
It's also good versus defensive Astral. You can charge up your Illuminate. You're like a lot of times you're just like sitting there waiting for the Astral, and with this it's like not that big a deal. The Slardar is very good with the Lifestealer. I'm glad that they picked up some physical damage. I don't particularly like Slardar plus OD together, just because you're not making use of the amp at all, unless it's for Roche. But I think there are many other ways to take out Roche for them. But I'm actually still surprised that they didn't go for the Sand King, just because I think it's been good to them. And I think I personally think Sand King's a lot stronger than Slardar right now, because if you think that OD is going to beat Jug mid, then that lends them more reason to run Juggernaut safe lane. Then you can match up a Sand King down there, which is pretty good for the Sand King, right? Going versus Juggernaut. So they just have something different in mind. They want to kill people way quicker with the Slardar Lifestealer and have more Roche potential, which is incredibly important for them to constantly have access to the Aegis of the Immortal. And Wings, Timbersaw, multiple players, Fate, and then Juggernaut, and Blink and Shadow play it. I would tend to think that it's probably going to be Juggernaut, safe lane, and Timbersaw mid though.
Yeah. Another thing, right, would be that Sand King's Blink is a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
The item timing is faster, yes, but I meant the stun off of his Blink is a little bit faster than Slardar's Crush.
Yes,
right.
That's
So
a big deal for
that's really important versus Juggernaut, as he has the reaction to be able to give out that spin, and also the timing of the Blink Dagger is more important for the Lifestealer, right? Because Lifestealer carry really only comes online. Really, it's only full force until you have that initiating hero. So if Slardar's Blink Dagger is delayed, for example, it delays our Lifestealers and his impact in some game. But I was thinking that you would probably rather have Slardar versus Timbersaw, right? You agree with that?
Depends.
Yeah, it kind of depends.
Depends on how big the Timbersaw is and how
with this combination, let's say, with the Lifestealer. Because I think LFY knew that Timbersaw was going to be.
I think OD can kind of just like Timbersaws get BKB super late if they do get one, and I think OD can kind of deal with them just by kiting him. I think they have a lot of ways to deal with him. They could just kill the entire team around him, but it's different play style. I think the Roche is probably a bigger deal. Yeah, I think.
And there it is. The Morana is going to be the thing. A Bloodseeker. All right. I was hyped to see this hero. It's finally here. Going to be running Shadow on the Timbersaw and Faith Beyond. Of course he is. He's the Bloodseeker player.
So Shadow's playing Timber?
Yeah.
Link's playing Jug. Okay.
So we've seen some 4-position jungle Bloodseekers. We've seen some safe lane Bloodseekers. VP is a great example of that. And there are also off-lane Bloodseekers.
Yeah.
So can't really say I'm too surprised that, especially since they said at TI that they had a Bloodseeker strategy ready to go, and they just never used it. So
they didn't think it was the right time. I think that this game, just like last game, they're going to pick on Yao. Yao he did not play the best of the 10 players last game, and might have been the worst out of the 10 in your Dota Crash.
Hold on, everybody.
But looking at this game, I think it's also going to be a similar story. Just going to pick on Yao as much as possible. The Timber Saw in the matchup versus him is already very poor for him. Rupture on a sprinting Slardar is just miserable. And then Juggernaut, if he like fails a blink stun, he's just gonna die. If he gets a quick spin off.
Imagine a target mana leaked and Rupture at the same time. Like movement is so bad.
Yeah,
Right.
it's gonna be a rough game for Yao, and they need another. They need to secure his lane because they have shown that Yao has needed help in the offlane in the past, and he does not opt for Iron Talon very often. Did not get it last game, as far as I believe. So that I will go into predictions. I will go with Wings. Actually, most Roshan kills. Yeah, I think Wings is just flat out better.
Yeah, you think Wings is going to win. That's why Wings, right? But
Yeah.
you would say LFY have the better Roshan take.
Yeah, if there were even teams, I would probably pick out.
To battle.
Remember, Blink Daggers purchased by 25. Slardar, but it's Yao. I'm just
I
gonna
mean,
pick
0-2, right? No
0-2
matter what.
save. Dude, I thought it was 0-2 in that VP game, and there were 5 Blink Daggers. Winter Wyvern had. Oh wait, I have 9 seconds. Time of first tower destruction. 8-11 is usually safe. Yeah. When will first blood happen? Yeah, I was gonna feed.
Goddamn, Ben, no mercy. He is playing a Slardar offlane. Slardar offlane is, I think, pretty feedy.
Yeah, I think
You
Yao
can't go into jungle ever. It's just like you
he
have to
also
make your
doesn't
lane
go to
work.
jungle.
So it's just like you have to make your lane work. You're not going to be able to farm very quickly, so you need to try and get whatever CS you can early. That oftentimes leads to you being caught out. They are going to be running dual lanes in mid. Blink and Instants are going to be having a combination here. They know that Juggernaut's not going to have a great time versus OD, so they want to keep the OD and press him as much as possible with this Ignite. Faithion is going to be playing the Jungle Bloodseeker. Still the offlaner, of course, still our 3 position in net worth, but he will be starting off Jungle Iron Talon. Yao going to be pushed away here as our offlane is going to be matched up against Ice's Keeper of the Light and Shadow's Timber.
I think that. So it may seem like I'm flaming Yao a little bit, but I don't think he's at his strongest right now. He's been to multiple TIs and he's done pretty well at most of the TIs. However, I think that he falls into the trap that a lot of the very strong Chinese players do, and I don't know what it is, whether it's like streaming contracts or whatever it may be, but they don't play year round. And I think that's a really big deal in today's day and age for Dota. You can't just like take a break for a few months back and own. I think one of the few exceptions is Xiao 8, but not everyone's Xiao 8, and everyone wants him in the Chinese scene. And the players that don't play every single month of the 12 in the year, it clearly shows when they try and get back. And I don't know, it just doesn't seem like he's as committed as many of the other players. I don't doubt that he has the raw talent, however.
I was going to try and show it here. So far, he's 5-0 in this lane situation. Faithion, he is level 3, and it looks like he's just spotted Xiao 8, so there's going to be no imprisonment arrow combination here. It's not going to be surprising. One of the great things about Bloodseeker Jungle, it stays very healthy. So Xiao 8, even if he did rotate and try and catch Faithion somewhere inside the jungle, it wasn't really going to result in much. Hero is just not one of those offlaners that you go and find him low HP and get a free kill.
Well, first what happened? Not happening.
Yeah, apparently.
Actually, someone picked the arrowed. No, it's not gonna happen.
In the next 30 seconds,
Something weird is gonna happen. What'd you pick? 0-3?
I've also we're screwed here. We're screwed.
We are screwed. But that's good. Yao is performing above expectations. Good. No, I'm glad that he hasn't died yet.
He is facing a lane that he is probably less likely to die.
Oh yeah, this is true.
Timbersaw and Coddle. Like that, it's pretty obvious kill power, and you should be able to dodge.
And Ogre's not there.
Yeah.
But Ogre looks like he's gonna be soaking up XP somewhere very, very soon. They have abandoned that off lane, which I thought that he didn't do very often, but when there's a Bloodseeker in the game, things change.
Yeah, because specifically this strategy, right?
Yep.
Can't put Bloodseeker in the actual lane. Innocence will pop up there to be able to collect some of the experience that pushes into the tower, but the big win here is that DDC, if you're going to be running a offlaner that jungle straight from the beginning, you can abuse this pull system and get maximum efficiency out of the lane. And this will mean a very high-level Rubik and probably a higher impact Rubik than you're used to seeing.
And DDC's Rubik is phenomenal. One thing that's cool about the Bloodsinger jungle is that the Blood Rage amplifies the Iron Talon damage. That is really, really good. It makes his jungling a lot faster. And like level 1, you're like Iron Talon. Okay, I take away 40% of your HP, but you still have 60.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Talon
under attack.
brings it much closer to half, and that little bit, especially early in the game when you're like super weak, it goes a long way.
It's like he was trying to stack this offlane camp for the Bloodseeker, but Jawade is also here. Blocks that stack first of all, and he'll probably take part of the jungle with an arrow here. Innocence plays it back, lets the tower tank the damage. He wants to pull the creeps off the tower and bloodlust the tower as well. Looks like he's going to try and do it from the side here without getting caught by Jawade. It should be okay. He gets some really aggressive vision down. Morana throws that one in as well.
They have a glyph. Are they going to use their glyph yet? No glyph?
Alright, well, we're also going to lose on first tower. Then.
Oh, yeah.
We are losers all around so far.
8-11 is very common, though. Like, maybe half the time, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I was with you on that one. I picked that one as well.
Gal still hasn't died. Oh, he's actually going for Iron Talon this game, too. Nice. Hey, I like the change from game number 1.
Yeah. I think unless you're getting really good farm in your offlane, I think you almost have to do it on Sword Art.
Yeah, Sword Art is like
such a hard hero to get.
Yeah, also versus Timbersaw, it's a chakra magic Timbersaw. So
Yeah.
he can just double Whirling Death all the time.
Yeah,
if you come to groups.
If you guys didn't know, double Whirling Death, it does keep the status effect. So he loses strength twice in a row and it stacks.
That's actually very good. He skilled it up at level 1. I didn't think too much of it, but I'm surprised he even has this lane. Because he had 5 earlier, and I was like, wow, that's really good.
It's like, it's kind of like facing up against Ursa Light. You know, how Ursa puts those stacks on you and it lasts for 20 seconds. Here at Timbersaw, you know, he's got a 6-second cooldown on Whirling Death, but the debuff applies for 14 seconds. So you get hit by that for 14 seconds, you just kind of play a little bit passive. Otherwise, you may bring yourself too low. Guarding the rune, they're going to be able to give Blink his level 6, thanks to the bounty. And early Omni Slash is ready to go at 6 minutes, but are Ween's going to be able to make much use of it? Mid lane doesn't really seem right for the taking just yet. Maybe they're going to try and go bottom lane with his Bloodseeker. He also has a kill ability here that he wants to use fairly early on. The Rupture is ready to go. And yeah, already sets himself up to prepare for this. He has the early TP, he knows it's necessary, but what he may not anticipate is that Innocence is also going to be here. He's level 4, so he does have a stun to stop his TP. L jumps forward, amplify damage. They are going to be able to throw out that ultimate. The stun is not going to come fast enough. Yeah, will be able to make it away, but he still almost gets bursted down. Jesus. He went down to 50 HP. That blood rage that was placed on him allowed the Timbersaw to do so much damage in such a short period of time with that Whirling Death.
Did he get that double?
Oh, an arrow just nailed Shadow, and he's amplified damage up. He's going to go down. That's our first blood. They're going to go ahead and keep Xiaowei in place with the mana leak and allow the rest to be able to escape. ZYF won't be able to do anything about that, but still a very important kill to keep their tower alive. They get a big kill on a Timbersaw, and let's not forget, that was first blood in 7 minutes.
That was a very good position by Yao. Like, if he was not in that spot, if he were further back, they wouldn't have gone on him, and if he were further up, he would have just died.
Yep.
So, like, he was in the exact position where he could make that events happen, so that first blood could happen for LGD for Rio. And of course, as you mentioned, the tower survived, which is probably even more important. So he can make use of. Okay, he didn't actually go for Iron Talon, just Quelling Blade. I thought it was going to be Iron Talon, but it's just Frank's Xiaowei just chilling there.
I mean, still, I think you have to get at least Quelling Blade on this one, right?
Yeah.
It's not like that guy is rocking a great base attack damage.
Look how deep Yao and Xiaowei are. They want to at least kill this Coddle, but Ice is deep in the jungle. Scan comes out. Can he hit the blind arrow, or are they just going to dive him? Ice.
Arrow will miss, but Yao's in a position. The wave goes off. They are going to actually TP and try and defend this one, but Ice is already going to be dead. Blink actually gets stunned up by the telekinesis as the Coddle drops. He'll still be able to get the Omni Slash, though, and collect the kill onto the Lifestealer. An aggressive dive by LFY turns around and bites him in the ass. but maybe it's Wings are going a bit too far, and Super's going to reveal the fact that he just found himself a haste rune. He's going to be able to catch right up to these heroes, starts getting some damage on a Shadow. Not really the hero he can kill, but maybe Blink is a little bit better. He's got a spin and healing ward ready to go, though. Super thinking about going for this dive here. Doesn't have his ultimate, but he will imprison once again. He's keeping these heroes in place. DDC with the blast is actually going to be able to land on a Shadow. Does a good amount of damage, so right-click him down, but Super is dropping lower and lower. A bit of harassment damage comes out from Ice onto these heroes. They're going to TP out on Super. He's good. Yeah, not going to be as lucky, though. Faith Beyond with all these low HP heroes, thanks in part to Coddle, he is rip running. He managed to pick up at least one, tries to track down Zhao 8, but as everyone starts healing up, loses some of that movement speed, and back to the jungle he goes.
They haven't invested too much into the early game items on the side of LFY, in particular the stick on the Life Stealer. It's always a tough call whether or not to get a stick on Life Stealer because you're pressed for slots. Yeah. You need your Armlet, you need your Quelling Blade, you need your Stout, you need your Phase, and then if you get a Blightstone, you don't have room for a stick. But you actually have mana issues. Some people get a Basilius, some people get the Raindrops, some people get a stick, and some people get none of them. And Echo Saber is kind of the one that you transition to, but you generally need an intermediate one. And because he didn't have rage, he died there. A lot of it is prep in the prior 5 minutes of the game as to what your item is. So that's he'd probably like, well, I'm screwed. I'm out of mana. I don't have a Coddle on my team. Draft me Coddle, shall we?
Ice is doing pretty well for himself. I didn't think about the Bloodseeker until part of that fight went on. But just having this Illuminate Blast, this big AoE damage dealer, when you have a Bloodseeker on your team, pretty valuable, right? Start racking up those early thirst charges.
Looks like the same thing's about to happen. Ice from the back. This time they do have the arrow to scout him out. However, no Slardar to really run in, and Ice is out of there.
So, into a big old creep wave. Ice away from the gank at bottom. The gank at top may still happen, though.
He has a TP scroll. He doesn't want to use it. Oh man, why is going in there?
Oh my goodness, the Wings, what a gank they're setting up right now. Yeah, I was thinking to himself, oh yeah, they go ahead and smoke and try and dive. I see them coming, I'm gonna go ahead and TP out, but now he's gonna be found right away. Innocence is able to hit their stun, and they just pop him.
That's
Holy
next
crap,
level
that was next level by Wings.
That really was next level. That was...
Woohoo!
And...
Poke in here, into the tree.
And they wasted his TP. That's like the worst case scenario for the Slardar, when on the other side you just see Ice TPing out just because he senses that something's about to happen, and the Wings are just super next level with that. That's super hard to make and actually work and look cool at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see the Bloodseeker go for the Midas.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Midas gaining between D and beyond Bloodseeker.
What does it go after that? I haven't seen them play Bloodseeker too much. Is it like a Blade Mail? Blade Mail I think is like okay for Storyline, just amazing, but armor's always useful for Slardar. OD's not going to attack you. I guess he would just Astral use.
And can you get off Blade Mail? You can get Magic Immunity off, right? Spike Carapace as you come out of the imprisonment and bounce back the damage. You think you could do it with Blade Mail?
Theoretically, you should be able to, but if the arrow is going through
that's true.
the imprison, you cannot. And that Bloodseeker is actually owning in the pit.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh,
the nice AoE silence. That bounce back there is just going to do even more damage to Super. Now the AoE blast comes in as well, and look at that. The heroes are so low already. Fate Beyond, he's running around like, oh my goodness, he's actually just going to go straight for Zhao 8. He's out of mana as he leaves with the mana leak on top of him. He's done for. Let's follow the fight in the pit. Shadow managed to get himself over into the trees away from ZYF. He'll be able to jump on a blink instead, but the Omni Slash just came up. Unfortunately, it bounces over to Roshan. So ZYF takes only a pittance of the damage. They're still going to try and chase him down. He has an infest. He will be able to get these neutral creeps. Super is here as well to be able to help him out. Faith Beyond, he backs himself away before the Centaur stun comes in. Doesn't want a chance having a Centaur stun into a Slardar crush, controlling him a bit too much. Wings are going to be chased away, but they still won that fight. They forced LFY away from the Roshan pit, got at least one of those kills. are going to be able to force this Infest and Lifestealer out. Oh, turns around, tries to go for the stun. Actually just pops out now as the right click comes in from Ice. Ice, the arrow misses there. Poorly timed, and Yao's going to die on the left-hand side as well. A big blast comes in, and now Ent has to find a target, but he's going to be going for an Ogre Magi. That tanky hero, he may be able to get the support, but sure, what's happening with the cores on Wings, though? They're just running down heroes on LFY. They're going to be able to get DDC as well. ZYF has not been able to kill the Ogre Magi, and now he's at half health with no Infest. A Rage TP is ready to go, and he'll try for that. The right-click damage, though, is going to be close. ZYF falls, unable to complete the TP. 3-9 now as Wings surge ahead in this game 2.
That was well played by all around on Wings. I like how they play around the Rupture really well. Like, he ruptured the OD, and then what does OD do? Like, you either sit there, or you Astral, or you run away. And he chose to sit there, and he got Blinding Light pushback, and then he got illuminated because he's just sitting there, and then he had to run away.
He's already sitting at 300 HP.
Yeah.
So you're not feeling real comfortable about fighting Bloodseekers running faster because there's already a low HP on the map.
Yeah, and you're not the hero that wants to get ruptured as super. Yeah, you can Astral yourself, but you're just gonna eat a blast, you're just gonna get destroyed.
Right.
Eat a shotgun.
Silence from Bloodseeker possibly. If
Yeah. So all of that's like pretty nasty, and generally defensive Astral is seen as very, very strong. But the long spells that they have, in particular the Bloodright and the Caught Illuminate, like actually deals with it quite well, and the only person that can really tank that sort of damage is a Lifestealer, but Lifestealer gets owned with let's say like a Blood Rage Omni Slash. Now that he's has level 2 Omni Slash is actually pretty strong. If he doesn't have Rage, then Timbersaw can easily kill him, especially with the Chakra Magic. And LFY, they need to get Roche. Roche is really important for them. They have the Slaughter, they need to be able to do it. However, Yao also needs his Blink Dagger, and he kind of needs to be there. And he also doesn't have mana at the moment, and they're constantly just having mana issues.
Seeing how ineffective the Lifestealer is being in many of these fights because he doesn't have that vehicle to be able to close the distance really easily with these Wings heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to be seeing a Blink Dagger probably until 20 minutes plus. Yao is only sitting at 1,100 gold now, 15 minutes into the game. The top 3 net worth all being held by the Wings core, and they've got themselves about a 5,000 net worth lead in total, with about a 7,500 experience lead on top of that.
I think it might be safer for them to like smoke into Roche with Amp and Lifestealer. I think they could actually just take it out, and then it would give Slaughter a lot of much needed experience and a little bit of gold for their team, and more importantly deny it from Wings, because they're in a position where they could just sweep LGD at this moment. And Xiao 8 will be dewarding, ruptured, and there is an Omni Slash because Oak's not close enough, and looks like they will be attempting Roche right now. Bloodseeker's actually very good at taking down Roche too, especially with Bloodlust.
They're just gonna keep going till mid. Instead, we thought they were gonna pop into Roshan Pit, and they did for a second, but instead they go for the tier 1 mid. Maybe feeling uncomfortable that they only killed the Mirana and they used Omni Slash as well as Rupture for it.
I still think they could think of attacks at the pit. I think Keeper is like really strong around the pit because there's like not that much room for you to maneuver, and Blinding Light onto a cliff, which is pretty likely, I would say, with all this melee.
Or maybe they haven't seen. Yeah, maybe that was the determining factor. They don't know if he's got Blink Dagger yet.
Yeah. Also, the mid T1 tower is very, very important.
Tier 1 mid, that's valuable, 10-3 right now. LFY definitely on the back foot quite heavily in this game number 2, 1 game away.
Radiant has used Scan and drawing a line, but Faith cannot go there by himself. It looks like he's going for a Scepter afterwards. Double Rupture, one on OD. Who would you cast the other one on?
Lifestealer.
Yeah, the thing about Lifestealer, he can just pop someone and just wait it out.
Yeah.
I guess just
you can do a defensive Rupture if if it's a combination off. Right, just try and limit that hero from being able to chase down.
Okay, they see Yao. They're smoked. He's really close to Blink Dagger. He cannot die here. No, Yao.
Yao, get out of there, buddy. They're coming. Wings already trying to set up. Ogre Magi's going to be leading the charge with the stun. They've already taken him out with the mana leak. Oh, so much damage. Slardar dies. Blink Dagger will be delayed past the 20-minute mark. No doubt about it now.
Game. It's kind of similar story to last game though. That his Blink Dagger just comes super late, and then even if he gets his Blink Dagger, are they going to be able to kill people with the Life Stealer Bomb? I don't think so. Juggernaut can just spin.
Shadow already has Bloodstone and a plate now, very importantly.
Bloodseeker has a lot of HP because he has Axe completed.
Oh.
18 minutes, that's kind of absurd. And then Keeper also almost has Axe completed, and then the last choice is Ogre. So, like, none of these heroes are a really good choice. I think, who would be the best? Jug's not going to die in a crush.
I think Bloodseeker might be the best.
Yeah.
Especially if you can catch him while he's Blood Raged.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And he's also the hero that I think is most disruptive for you in these team fights. Rupture and Silence, both very powerful against LFY's heroes.
Yeah. And again, LGD are just stuck in this lull where they have to wait for the Blink Dagger to do anything. And then if Yao shows on the map like he is now, that just gives him a minute, let's say, of like free reign around the map.
This is the exact problem that we were talking about when discussing the difference between Sand King and Slardar. Slardar does not have that kind of wave clear to guarantee fast Blink Dagger. You may see even a full-out Shiva's. Do you like Shiva's or Lotus Orb? Because Shiva's always value for Timbersaw, but Lotus Orb would specifically counter Amplify, as well as helps you with like OD can imprison you without imprisoning himself.
I think Shiva's fine. He can just run in there. The thing about Lotus Orb is sometimes you just die before you can use it. Because I think it's way better suited for heroes that are in the back. And as a hero that's up in the front, like if you get disabled before you cast it, it's not a very useful item. Whereas Shiva's, I think it's like, the active's not that important. Like the aura and the armor are always on, which is amazing.
We'll see what Shadow, I'm feeling like he's leaning towards that Shields as well.
So here they go with the Blink Dagger. Can they actually kill anyone?
I mean, they've got to hit a really good initiation. This is the smoke, this is the first Blink Dagger reveal.
They know though, because no one's been showing for too long now.
Yeah.
And now, did their scan hit?
Moonlight Shadow, do you think they can kill? How fast do you think he can kill this Timbersaw? They stumble onto him first.
If a fast blinding light comes out, then
yeah, they're
very unlikely.
It's all up to the Life Stealer during Rage and Amplifying. I'm not sure if that's enough, thanks to the plate now.
Yeah, he does have X.
They re-smoke for that one.
It is that important. I think that's a great decision by them.
But Wings are set up in an anti-smoke formation.
Yeah.
Bunch of heroes inside the trees. Ogre Magi to be the one who tanks the smoke. And they're like, surely the smoke wore out by now.
Radiant's middle tower
They have two, but they're playing like they have two. This is the thing.
Yeah, that's crazy. Still waiting this one out.
Okay, shall we? It pops,
It's
and
fine.
they're in the observer ward. They know.
Oh,
They
Blink,
definitely know.
he's already spinning, gets himself away. The jump is going to be able to come in. They manage to land on the Timbersaw, but already Yao is done. And now DYF is going, this is not the place I want to be. He rages and TP's out. He will manage to survive, thankfully. Super is going to be spotted, but no disable from Shadow. Either way, though, that was heavy commitment by LFY and very clearly not what they wanted to happen. And Loser Slardar and Wings will continue their march at the bottom lane.
I think now you have to switch gears. Now you'd be like, okay, we need to just split push out the lanes, but this
Nice pushback there. Ice brings the Rubik in range of Blink and his spin. They're going to try and fight around this imprisonment still, but DEP just, it's all a setup for the Timbersaw. Shadow is kind of stuck in the trees though, and DYF in serious trouble. He needs to invest. Super, give him an opening. Oh, he imprisons him instead. Still kind of hard. Yao's going to be able to jump in, gets a nice crush, and the blast is already there. DYF so low, the physical damage will finally cut him down. Super tries to drop the bomb, but it's just not good enough. It hits like a wet noodle, and LFY have nothing left in the tank. Yao's going to be forced away, but he was already mana leaked up. He's going to be out of mana, and poor Marana, she's out of HP. Wings back up, 3 kills up, take the tier 2 tower. Where are they going to go from here? Objectives are kind of free to them. They can go mid, go for that tier 2. Roshan is still available to this team if they'd like to take Aegis for themselves. Looks like none of it. They're just going to push out the lanes. Top had a nice big wave coming in, so Blink's going to be able to take the benefit of that.
They just need to make sure they don't get over. Make sure they just don't feed them unnecessarily. Like Slardar is just. They spent like 5 minutes waiting for this Blink Dagger, and then once the Blink Dagger finally came out, they just got fire blasted and just died.
Well, they know the Juggernaut TP'd up the top lane, so
They know they can try and go straight for Roshan while the Jug's top. Maybe get themselves an Aegis thanks to Amplify and the Lifestealer's damage, but it's just not. They're not doing it fast enough as duo.
It's being rough.
They've already brought the Juggernaut here. They're thinking they're actually going to be able to force this fight 4 versus 5. Little do they know it's going to turn against them. Blink has already shown himself a little bit. Brisbane goes down. Now here comes that Rupture without an imprisonment. No one's going to be able to save Super from this one. They just force that from round inside of Silence as well. He gets popped by Faith Beyond, who's on a dominating spree. Jump in. Yeah, he actually managed to catch Blink as the Disable ran out. That magic immunity no longer available. He gets hit by the Crush. They're looking for Shadow next, but he's up on the trees, and ZYF is still ruptured up. Half of it, and he's going to go down because he doesn't have a rage anymore. The pure damage rips him apart, and Shadow, he's just bouncing from cliff to cliff. He managed to catch DDC a bit. Ice can simply right-click him down. Oh, the humiliation there. And Shadow goes for another kill on a Zhao Wei, but fortunately TP will be able to save him. Both him as well as Yao will once again be the only survivors in a nasty team fight against Wings around the Roshan pit.
They got some good kills though. In particular, the Juggernaut. Nice jump by Yao, catching him at that brief moment of vulnerability.
But it's still going to be a Roshan to Wings' favor. Actually, Mass TPing in. They're kind of trying to get here in time, and they're slow enough.
It's daytime though. Ice has Ags, so without a smoke,
Yeah, you can see he saw that arrow coming. Faith Beyond managed to blink himself away from that one. A nice force away, trying to keep the heroes out of the pit, but Roshan's not low enough, so instead, Wings, they have to actually fight this one out. They've already caught a hero with the Rupture. They're going to be able to go on to Yao as best as possible. And his stun goes out on the Shadow. Fortunately, the heal from the Columbine just kept the Shadow alive. They're trying to chase him down, but the nuke isn't quite enough. That last right-click in is not going to be enough damage. Blink, he managed to Omni Slash bounce around, gets a lot of damage on his ZYF, and OD, he imprisoned himself, but now, without ZYF there's no chance he can fight out 4 of Wings' members. Wings, they just keep on winning, man. These team fights, they're just too far ahead, and LFY have to fight, but every single fight just puts them deeper in the hole.
Just too many items. Without the Ags, I think that's a very high probability fight, and they probably didn't expect the Ags that early, and it's you don't have any smokes. They used a double smoke with the other one, and they were just really desperate for that because that was an important fight. But this one, unbeknownst to them, is probably even more important fight for them, and they just could not take it. Keeper saw it coming the whole way. Double Rupture had cooled down already.
Have you seen Shadow's item?
Double plate mail.
Yeah, he picked up Shiva's double plate mail now. Who can go AC as well as Lotus Orb if he wants to. Lead.
I think they just know that they're about to end the game, so he just buys whatever he can from the side shop. I guess, like,
I don't think AC is a real item on Timber, but
yeah, you can just hold it. Ideally, I think you get like a plate mail and a soul booster, so you can go Octarine.
Right.
But it just doesn't, not too important at this point.
Tier 3 is gonna fall. DDC with his Blink Dagger tries to show up, tries to put a stop to this push in any way he can, but it's just not quite there. Moonlight Shadow will allow the payload to come in on the back lines. They're gonna go straight for Ice Ball heroes. They do manage to kill him, but Yao is gonna be the turnaround. The Blink just surrounds him pretty easily, and it looks like they're gonna be able to get ZYF again. That initiation, the rage combination just leaves him so exposed to the Rupture out from Bloodseeker. ZYF runs himself to death. Zhao Wei, oh, he's going to tick out there as well. 3 down from LFY, and Wings will take not just the mid lane of Rags, but the game as well.
Yeah. So LFY, I guess, probably deemed the weakest of the qualified teams, I would say. I'm not sure. Maybe, I don't know. One of the weakest.
They put up a pretty good fight against Digital Chaos. They didn't look bad there.
Mm-hmm.
But they see no match for
The Chinese scene. They're way more intimate than.
Yeah.